It is at this stage that Bassanio's servant demands the hand of Portia's maid in marriage. So, you have two marriages at the same time, and immediately Grishenio and Bassanio, they rush to Venice in order to save Antonio, who is already in custody. Portia, who is a lady of fair learning and ready wit, approaches her cousin, who is a counselor in law. The counselor's name is Valerio, but he expresses his inconvenience in going to the court of law due to some untoward reasons. At this very stage, Portia has to step into the shoes of the counselor in order to save the life of Antonio. You now notice that the stage of resolution begins now. They disguise as men and they reach the court of the Duke in order to challenge the demand made by Shylock. When Portia reaches the court, she takes a look around and she finds her husband in extreme distress standing next to Antonio and eyes expressive of help when their gaze met. Portia began her statements and she praised Shylock for extending help and then at the same time sticking to the clauses of the deed. Bassanio offered him money, the capital that was given as loan. When Shylock refused, he was offered the double of it, and the process so continued unless he even agreed to pay 10 times of the money that was borrowed from Shylock. We should remember that Portia is a wealthy woman and she has assured Bassanio that any amount of money can be spent in order to save Antonio. So this makes Bassanio easy with money and is ready to offer whatever Shylock demands in order to save the life of Antonio. But Shylock is not interested in money. He is more interested in removing his rival for all times. So, insisting upon it, as a result, Portia says that Shylock be allowed to take a pound of flesh as is stated in the deed. The assemblage is all spellbound because they believe that the trial has made Antonio a lost party. He is a loser. Shylock is very happy, elated, excited, and he keeps on repeatedly saying that Portia, guised as a lawyer by the name Balthazar, is a judicious one. And Shylock immediately moves towards Antonio with happy strides. And then Portia announces that not a single drop of blood be shed in taking a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. She also adds that a pound of flesh should be exactly in weight, not less than a pound nor more than a pound. Shylock is now nervy. And then he immediately retorts that this is not possible. Removing a pound of flesh and not making Antonio bleed is next to impossible. To this, Portia says that your deed says that you can take a pound of flesh but not a single drop of blood. If you do so, you will be punished. Now, Shylock realizes that he is in a trap. Immediately, he changes his stand and says that he would agree for the capital of that he had given to Antonio as a loan. Shylock is now ready to accept the capital of 3,000 ducats. And Portia says, giving you the money is now unruled legally too. The law does not permit you this opportunity anymore. Then Portia calls upon the Duke to punish Shylock for his vengeful and evil intentions. She says that his property should be seized, half of the property should be given to Antonio and half should go to the court. Antonio, who was calm, comes forward and showing his Christian spirit says that the half amount of riches that has come to him through the state, he would like to give it back to Shylock's daughter, Jessica. At this stage, Shylock, who lost this opportunity of killing Antonio by making him bleed to death, pretends sickness and says that he wants to go home now. The Duke then says that you should be repentant and at the same time embrace Christian values. Portia, after the close of the trial, is approached by Bassanio and Antonio to extend their gratitude. They fail to recognize Portia. As I repeat again, she was disguised as a male figure, and they request Portia, who is before them as Balthazar, to take her fee for her legal services, and she refuses. To this, Portia says that I am attracted to your ring. So please give me this ring as my fee. Now Bassanio is startled because this is his wedding ring. So Bassanio says that this is something that I cannot give you. You can ask for anything else except this ring. And Portia says that either I take this or I take nothing. Then Antonio has to intervene and he says that for the mighty task that she has done, the ring be rewarded to her. So Bassanio has to give that ring. Likewise, Gratianus' ring is also demanded by Portia's maid, who is also disguised as a male figure. After taking the rings, Portia and Nerissa they rush back home because they know that Antonio and Bassanio would be reaching home soon. When the two appear, Portia welcomes Antonio with much excitement and at the same time with much cordiality and graciousness. And then comes the final statement. Where is the ring? Portia demands an answer to it. Bassanio tries to explain, but Portia refuses. Bassanio says that this was given to the lawyer who showed extraordinary skill in saving the life of Antonio. Antonio affirms the statement of Bassanio, but Portia refuses to accept the pleas made by them. Finally, both of them, they laugh and they accept that they were present during the trial, and then the disguise story is unveiled. Bassanio is now all the more grateful to Portia for her extraordinary skill as a lawyer. Bassanio then realizes as to who was present as lawyer during the trial scene and can connect the image of Balthazar with that of Portia. So the story of disguise is now unraveled. Happily, they are all united and the play comes to a close. Thank you, students.